Visiting a cruise port of call is one of the most fun things to do on a cruise. However, it can be overwhelming to know how to prepare, what to bring, and what to do. This pre-excursion checklist will ensure that you don't forget a thing. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, whether this is your first cruise or you're a repeat cruiser that just could use a little bit more guidance when it comes to booking, planning, and being ready for shore excursions, this video is for you. This pre-excursion checklist is going to help you to avoid some of the common mistakes that some cruisers make that actually can really impact the day. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give this video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Let's get started. Number one, research and plan ahead. So whether you book excursions with your cruise line, with a private vendor, or even you plan to explore on your own, you do want to research the destination and know a little bit about the local culture as well. Now, this is really fun. You can peruse through the various shore excursions that are offered by the cruise line, and you can look at some of the activities that interest you most. Now, even if you don't book your excursion with a cruise line, this is going to give you a good idea and help you get started. Number two, travel documentation. Ensure that you have all the necessary documents and identification to disembark from the cruise ship. So this could be your government ID, this could be your cruise card. You're definitely going to need this. This can be in some cases visas and passports, but you are going to want to follow the cruise line's advice on this one. Now, unless required, I keep my passport in the cruise cabin safe. However, it is a good idea to take some photos of your passport, keep that on your phone, or even email that to yourself, or bring a photocopy just in case. Number three, excursion tickets and confirmation. On the morning of your cruise excursion, make sure that you have your shore excursion tickets readily available. Now, in some cases, this is going to mean bringing the actual paper tickets that are left in your cruise cabin. And in other cases, this is going to mean that you're going to want to look on your phone and screenshot your ticket confirmation from the cruise line app. Now, in our experience, sometimes the cruise line app has not worked once we've gotten into the port. So this is a pretty essential step to avoid any hassles, which leads me to point number four, pack appropriately. Now, it is a good idea to take those shore excursion tickets and actually put them in your shore excursion bag or backpack ready for your shore excursion. Now, in addition to this, pack anything else that is required for your excursion. Now, on your shore excursion ticket, oftentimes those things will be listed. Perhaps you need water shoes. Perhaps you should bring a bathing suit and towel. Perhaps you should bring sunscreen or even a water bottle. Make sure that you have those items and they are ready, packed in your shore excursion day bag so that you're ready to get off the ship. Now, don't forget to dress comfortably considering the day's activities, and don't forget to make sure that you are wearing comfortable shoes. Money and currency. Make sure that you are prepared with small bills and or local currency that you might need in your cruise port. Now, that can include small bills for tips, souvenirs, and even taxi rides. Now, if you are visiting the Caribbean, most of the time you're not going to need a local currency. US dollars are going to be fine. However, if you are visiting Europe, make sure that you do bring whatever the currency is. So for instance, euros in many of those European countries. And when you are visiting Canada, bring Canadian dollars. Now, even if you plan on using cash in the cruise ports, bring at least one credit card just in case for emergencies. Communication when you're off the cruise ship. Now, although it's not a requirement, you might want to consider purchasing an international phone plan. Just check what you do have for those cruise ports of call. While you could definitely just use free Wi-Fi when you're in the islands, if anybody does want to contact you when you're ashore, including even the cruise ship, well, you don't really want to be stuck. You do want to have that communication ability. Now, make sure you save any important contact numbers as well. And that even includes the cruise ship number or even the port agent of the local port. Now, oftentimes you can find this number either on your cruise card or on the cruise daily planner. You can definitely bring these items with you, or you can save that contact number in your list of contacts. Charge your cell phone and any other devices that you plan on using during your day in port. If you're in port for hours, it can be surprising how you can actually go through your cell phone battery, especially if you take a lot of photos and videos. Trust me, it definitely happens to me. It's also a good idea, bring a portable charger with you that you can charge either when you're on the bus or even that you can plug in and still use at the same time. Now, I will leave a couple of really good recommendations linked down below in the description of the video in case you do want to check those out. Take note of the ship's time. Now, this can actually differ on the ship versus the local time, and it can actually really get people in trouble. We were on a shore excursion where people were actually almost an hour late. Now, they ended up catching up to our bus as we were on the way back to the port, but that potentially really could have been a problem for them. And that happened because basically their smartphone converted to the local time. So what some experienced cruisers do is they purchase a very inexpensive watch just from Amazon or pick it up wherever you can. And that can really help you to just never make that kind of mistake. Alternatively, set your phone manually and make sure that it does not auto update. Now, keep in mind that the ship's time is different than the all aboard time. And of course, make note of that too. What I like to do is actually take a photo so I don't second guess myself anytime later in the day. Now, by the way, if you're getting ready for your cruise and you are trying to stay organized, I do have the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner. Now, the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner is a 47-page downloadable printable cruise planner that can help you to plan your cruise from the moment you book your cruise all the way through disembarkation. And it can help you to plan your day in your cruise ports. Now, part of the cruise planner, I will just show you, is this port day planning form. Now, it is actually one of my favorite forms because you can use this for every single port. And by the way, you can print out as many pages as you need for as many cruises that you go on, but it allows you to put your excursion information if you do book an excursion, whether through the cruise line or privately, but also what you want to see, what you want to buy, where you want to eat. So all of those notes that you are taking leading up to your cruise and the research, you can have all of that there. Now, I will leave all of the information about the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner linked down below in the description of this video in case you do want to check it out. Safety and security. I can't stress this enough. You don't want to be a victim of any travel scams or frauds or thefts. So leave anything that you have that is valuable, just leave that in the cruise cabin safe. There's no need to bring expensive jewelry or even a lot of cash with you in the cruise ports of call. Water and snacks. Now, as you're packing your shore excursion bag, it is a good idea to bring with you water and maybe potentially some snacks. It depends how long your day is in port and what your plans are. But something to keep in mind is you may not get water when you are on an excursion. Years ago, oftentimes the excursions included water bottles. Now we're finding this is not always the case, often not these days. So bring a water bottle from the cruise ship or bring a refillable water. Now, snacks are obviously very optional, but your day can be delayed. We were actually delayed about 2 hours in Costa Rica, so it would have really been nice to have some snacks with us. You can bring some granola bars, some dry snacks. Do watch out for any fruits and vegetables because that is something that is not allowed off the cruise ship based on the country you are visiting, their rules, and that is really something that you want to watch out for. Medication and first aid. Now, there's no need to bring an entire first aid kit, but it is a good idea to have the medication that you might need if you're in a cruise port of call. So I just bring this little pill box, super handy, but this way what I can do is I can bring my Advil. Sometimes I do get a headache, so that is really handy. I don't want to be without it. So I do suggest even something I bring, I should show you actually, is Bonine. If I am going on maybe an excursion that is going on the water, like a catamaran, that kind of thing, if I might get a little bit of motion sickness, you never know, it can happen, then I do have that with me as well. And a few little simple medical items. Now, I just mean basic things. So Band-Aids and antibiotic ointment, that is something that is going to be fine. You never know if you do get a little blister. Meeting up for your excursion. Now, familiarize yourself with where you are supposed to meet up. You might have to meet up on the cruise ship in the theater, or you might have to meet up at the port itself right outside of the cruise ship. So know where you do have to meet. And something that I learned by experience is that you do want to recheck the cruise excursion meetup schedule. It actually happened to us on a very recent cruise where our meetup time was supposed to be 9:30, and then on our ticket, I just didn't verify it. On our ticket, it was actually 9:10. 15. So that was a little bit of a difference, and we actually made it just in time for our shore excursion. We were the last people to show up. Language and cultural awareness when you are traveling. Now, when you are going to various cruise ports of call, various destinations really, you'll want to know a little bit about where you're visiting, what some of the rules are even when you are visiting. Now, in some cases, you are going to be visiting destinations where maybe you are going to be visiting churches, and they're going to want women to cover their shoulders, men obviously as well, but they may even want people to cover their legs right up until their knees. Now, that's something, if you're going on a Mediterranean cruise and you visit the Vatican, honestly, they are very strict on that. But beyond that, you'll want to know, are there some rules of some areas that you should not photograph? Are there some rules as to what sunscreen you're not able to use? That is the case in Hawaii and some Caribbean cruise ports of call. And you're always going to get along better with some of the local people if you do learn a few words or phrases in the local language. Now, by the way, if you have any experiences with this, even learning a few phrases in the local language, please let me know down in the comments below, either good or bad. I really would like to hear it. Stay informed. Now, this is small, but this is really important. You do want to know, have there been any changes even to the cruise schedule? It does happen that you were supposed to leave maybe the port at 6 p.m. and instead the cruise line changed last minute the time that the cruise ship is going to be departing to 5 p.m. Especially if you are out exploring on your own, these are things you're going to want to know. Stay organized. Have a backpack that you have designated or a beach bag that is already ready with some of the things that you're going to need for basically every cruise port of call. Now, if you're in the Caribbean or in the Bahamas or in Mexico, for instance, you are likely going to need sunscreen, maybe lip balm, maybe some flip-flops, any of those things. Just keep them already packed in that backpack. Even your water bottles, so that they're ready to refill. Just keep all of that there. So especially on excursion mornings, it can be very busy. You might want to order room service, you might go to the buffet to eat, and time can go really quicker than you think. And if you are well organized, you're going to avoid some of that potential stress that you might have on your cruise port day. Now, I'll leave all of the information about the LifeWell Cruise Ultimate Cruise Planner linked down below in the description of this video, as well as any other items that you may need as you are planning and getting ready for your cruise. Now, I would love to hear from you. Please let me know any of the other things that you think we should do to get ready for a shore excursion. And please let me know as well, do you book your excursion with a cruise line, or do you like to go and explore on your own? I would love to hear it. Please let me know down in the comments below. Now, I hope that this video has been helpful. If you've enjoyed it, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.